Hello and welcome back to one more episode of the Blackstone SMP. And this is the 6th episode, and we are going to see what will happen after our first ignition of war has started. Honestly, I really thought we'd be more aggressive, but it's going to be later, I guess. Anyways, enjoy the episode. I'm going to be saying all the credits later in the end of the video. Enjoy. So this video was obviously a remix like the episode 2, but we start over here at Tropo's execution, in which I will say it was very weird because he just willingly gave up his life for absolutely no reason. And you will see that after that, because I didn't want him to actually be the only one who got to kill people, I kill him about 2 to 3 times only for good measure. But then, sometimes it gets tiring. But then after some time, I'm able to exile him to the end, and now he shouldn't be able to escape for a very long time. Right? And then anyways, I go to his house and I steal one of his artifacts because his origin doesn't let him touch water. And of course I go into another filming because it was the only important part in that recording. And this is the wedding, the final day that the event would happen. And oh my god, the NPC is low. It takes way too long to follow. I took 40 minutes bringing her to the spawn because I wanted this to be a special day. And all while that, the people who were talking, as well Tropo as Pintub, were very they are going to jail soon enough. But anyways, I was going throughout the snow, getting my wife over there, but she got exploded by a creeper because she's too slow. She's exactly the same speed as the creeper. And then of course, we were doing some shenanigans, and then I had about 4 kids with Pinsoup, I guess. And then, guess what? Tropo, after 1 day, he escaped the end because of some gateway type shit. And the better end. And then I took 3 of my kids back home, and then the other one I just spent with the other one. And then, I started finally making the thing that I've been planning to do all week, but I couldn't do because of this stupid thing called having a life.
This prison rolled me.
But then something important came up. Pinsoup was a fan of Ultra Kill, so we started talking about it for about 20 minutes as I continued to make my base. I was so happy that I finally found someone who was truly like me. And of course I kept continuing because I think this floor is much uglier than the other one, but it's still good. And this will be the create floor, which I make every single thing that is about create. And the first machine that I would do inside of this will be a mixer, which I would be using to make my first real alloy, which is, brass. And then weirdly enough, I had some difficulties with the last one. And after all, I decided to start making the stuff for the deployer because I need a complex mechanism or the mechanical arm, which would be used to make my steam machine much smaller. But then I also need to make another alloy, the rose quartz, which I use to then make the rose electron, which is used to make a deployer. And honestly, I hate this item. It's way too hard to make for nothing. But then, I was able to place it. And now I was going to start making the precision mechanism, which is very hard to make. You need to do 5 times the process of making a cogwheel, a large cogwheel, and an iron nugget. but I have finally made it. And then we actually
Today was
have
the day
first
we
blood.
assembled. Even Astrad, who was still in the void, he even came to celebrate this moment.
Where
This
we saw all of the people he killed, and now he is pretending
Rest in
like
peace,
he's mourning
McGreen,
for
he
them.
could be bazooka.
Adolf Hitler Jr.
Par contre, c'est
Please
chiant
rest in
d'attendre
peace.
genre
Got me
11
on my
secondes pour
feet.
que Bella devienne
Bro,
adulte.
most of them were my fucking husband. How
Genre,
can
ça
you
fait
say
quasiment
that?
And then,
2
of
heures que
course, the
j'attends.
event was absolutely horrible. He fell into chaos, started attacking me like the traitor he is. And then, of course, well, I had my arm. But, you know, I had to do a little task beforehand, but then and I stopped recording for some reason, and then I came back. But then I put a mod pack that makes the best song, Ultra Kill Order. Well, I'm not going to tell much about it because I don't know who is watching, and I don't want to burden you with this. But then the next step for the machine, I need to kill 9 blazes in order to make the blaze burners. I need 9 to get level 9 steam engine. And this was the last one. After 20 painful minutes, because this biome does not spawn often blazes, I was able to do it. And then, of course, well, for about the 3rd time was the wrong spawn. But then, I take legitimately 1 entire hour trying to find the next part for the steam engine, because the only part that doesn't actually look good is the kelp. You need to find an ocean, and there was not a closed ocean until like 4,000 blocks. But I found it. I made a spout. And I started using my infinite lava generating mechanism, and I started actually finally making the engine, which I was happy about that. But it took way too long to make the fluid capacities and stuff. And then I started making the first mechanism, the input, which for this I need to make a brass funnel, which would use the mechanical arm to take the bucket that was full of lava and we'll put inside 9 of the blaze burners and put it back into the funnel, which surprisingly enough you actually need to crouch if you want it to be an input, because otherwise it's going to be an output and it's not going to be good. And then now we start doing the other input, which is the actual water. And for this, it's pretty simple. You just need a large cogwheel and 3 pumps. There is a lot of mathematics that we need to do, but now the hardest part was to come. We need to actually connect the entire thing. But then I found a cave while I was trying to dig, and I got rid of it. And this place I'm going to be using for the large water wheels, which we need as a startup mechanism, because no crank can actually do this. It is not going to survive. But then I was trying to find more and a cycler machine, but then I found something amazing, an amethyst cluster. It was close to spawn as well, and nobody raided it, which is surprising because it is extremely important, because it is the only way to craft waystones. But then I was trying to connect these things, which honestly really need the andesite. But then after searching through a lot of the world, I found it. And oh my god, it's hard to place this with the texture. But now I had officially started turning on the engine. It was placing the water, it was doing the mechanical arm. And then after some time, I was able to actually make the steam engine fully start. And then now I also connected the spout to the mechanism, and now the mechanical arm was putting 1 by 1 each blaze burner. And my happiness could not be more evident as I saw each level going up and up. The speed was going quicker and quicker as well. Of course, until the moment it actually became a level 9 steam engine. I made the actual thing much prettier now by removing the part that had the water wheels. And also I connect the upper parts because the mechanical press is very slow. But now that I was able to do this, I playtested it. It was so quick, finally. But this is how the shader looks like. It looks absolutely stunning, and I am very excited for the time I'm going to be able to actually use this on one of my real farms. Because, you know, this thing took up all of the room, we need more. But then I don't think I'm going to do it either. But anyways, this was about it for the remix video. Now I go into the credits. So, finally, we are at the end of the video. Honestly, this week was not interesting. Only the execution maybe, but it was too short a video to make. But then of course, you know, I gotta do the credits as always. So, thank you for Heaven Pierce Her for the songs Chaos Order. Which, actually, now that I think about it, was only Order, but the full name is Bear. And then I also used another song that I don't know which, because at the time I did this, I didn't add it yet. And then, well, thank you for the music, even though you didn't agree to this, and I will see you at the next video, which I'm pretty excited, because I'm sure that I will find something more fun to do. Goodbye.